Hello friends, welcome back to the video. This is the second part of the IIIT PGEE 2019 question paper solutions. So let's jump onto the questions right away. So the first question is related to the operating systems. Okay, so a process executes the following code for I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus fork. So we are basically calling the fork system call n times. So they are asking us that how many new processes will be created. Okay, so let's solve this. So initially we have process P1, then when it calls the fork system call for the first time, another process P2 will be created. Right now, when the fork is called for the second time, P1 gets one more child, this P3, and also P2 gets one more child, P4. So these all are processes P1, P2, P3, P4. Now when the fork system call is called for the third time, we have another child for P2, this P5. We have a child for P4, P6, and we have child for P3, and we have a child for P1, right? P8. So count the number of children here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the number of children are 7. So if we call the fork system call for 3 times, the formula we are getting is 2 raised to n minus 1, right? 2 power n minus 1. Now please try to recall the case for n equal to 2. So we had P1, P2, P3 and P4 there. So there were 3 children processes. So 2 power 2 minus 1, which is equal to 4 minus 1, equal to 3 child processes and 1 parent process. So the number of new processes created are 2 raised to n minus 1. So here option number C is correct. Option C is the correct answer for question number 12. Right. So let's move on to the next question. So this is a theory based question from database systems. Which of the following is free from both deadlock and starvation? Okay, so if we talk about timestamp, so since the transactions are ordered based on time, it is free from deadlock. It is free from deadlock. But starvation is definitely possible here. Okay, and when we talk about 2PL, so this is the basic two-phase locking protocol. So here we can have both deadlock and starvation, right? So none of them are free from both deadlock and starvation. Okay, it is a theory based question. So for question number 13, the correct answer is option D. Option D is the correct answer. Okay, so let's move on to question number 14. So what is the best suitable data structure for iterative DFS? So when we write the program for DFS recursively, internally we use the stack space of the memory. So basically we are using the stack data structure only. So if we want to implement it iteratively, we will simply use the user built stack data structure. Okay. So for question number 14, the correct answer will be stacked. Stack is the correct answer for question number 14. It was an easy one, right? Question number 15. So maximum possible height of binary tree having 14 nodes can be log 14, 14, 13 and 15. We are also given that the height of the root node is 1. So there is no constraint on the height of the binary tree. We can grow it as a linked list. Okay. So if we are given that it is a balanced binary tree, then we need to take the height considerations. But here we can grow it as a linked list. That is called a skewed tree. Right. Either it can be left skewed or it can be right skewed. So let's consider this case. So we have 1. So let's go it like this: 1. Then we have its child 2. 2 has child 3. 3 has child 4. 4 is child 5, and so on. So if the number of nodes are 5, we see that the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because the height of the node 1 is 1, so height of node 2 will be 2, for 3 it will be 3, for 4 it will be 4, and for 5 it will be 5. So if the number of nodes are 14, then the height will be 14, right? So here height of n number of nodes is n, because we are given that the height of the root node is 1. Okay. If the height of the root node would be 0, then the maximum height possible is 13. But for the question number 15, the correct answer is B, 14. So 15, option B is correct. Okay, let's move on to the next question now. So question number 16, in the classful addressing scheme, the total number of networks in class C are. So let's discuss this question. So for class A, we use 0 bit to basically classify that it is part of class A. Then 10 if it is class B, class A, class B, and 110 for class C, 1110 for class D, and 11111 for class E. So these bits are used to identify that the particular IP belongs to which of the networks. So for class C, we are reserving 3 bits to identify it. Okay, 110. So the total number of networks possible would be 24 minus 3. So 2 power 21, because the remaining 8 bits will be used for the host part. Okay. So please try to remember that in class A, a 0 bit is reserved, and then we have 7 bits. 7 bit can range from 0 to 127. Okay, so we have 128 networks there, 128 networks, and 2 power it will be 2 power 24 host. For network B we reserve 2 bits, and we have 2 power 14 networks and 2 power 16 host. Actually these are IP, host would be 2 less, right? For class C there are 2 power 21 networks and 2 power 8 IP possible. Okay, so we need to figure out for class C. So here the number of networks are 2 power 21. So option number D is correct answer. Option D is correct. Right. So for question number 16, the correct answer is option D, 2 power 21. Let's move on to 17. The 2 input XOR gate can produce the high output when both the inputs are high, both the inputs are low, when at least one of the input is high, or none of these. So let's try to build a table for XOR. A, B, A XOR B, 0 0, 0 1, 1 0, and 1 1. So for 0 0 the XOR output is 0, for 0 1 it is 1, for 1 0 also it is 1, for 1 1 it is 0. So we see that if at least one of the Boolean variables is high, then A XOR B will be high. So option number A says that when both the inputs are high. So 1 1 will be with that case, and in that case the output is low. Okay. Second option B, when both the inputs are low, so that will be 0 0 case. In that case the output is 0. So B is also false. And C says that when at least one of the input is high. So for that 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1 are the candidates, and for 0 1 and 1 0 the output is high. Okay, but for 1 1 the output is low. So option C is also false. So for question number 17, D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. So the output of XOR is high when exactly one of the inputs is high, right? So D is the correct answer here. Okay, let's move on to question number 18. A system uses FIFO policy for system replacement. It has 4 page frames with no pages loaded to begin with. The system first accesses 100 distinct pages in some order, and then accesses the same 100 pages but now in the reverse order. So how many page faults will occur? Okay. So the main memory can hold 4 page frames. Okay, and we need to load 100 pages. So let us suppose the page numbers are from 1 to 100. Okay, so first 1 will be loaded, then 2, then 3, then 4. Now when we want to load the page number 5, the memory is full, so we need to replace a page. Okay, so what will be our candidate in case of FIFO? So 1 arrived first. Okay, so we will replace 1. Then 6 comes, so again there is no space. Now 7 comes, again there is no space. 8 comes, again there is no space. So now 9 comes, then 10 comes, then 11 comes, 12 comes. This will continue up until we will get 97, 98, 99 and 100. Okay, so our sequence of loading is like this: 1 2 3 all the way up to 100, and then 100, 99, 98, 97, 96 all the way up to 1. So now we have finished up until this part. We have finished up till this. Okay, now we need to load the pages in reverse order. So 100 is already there. Okay, so 1 hit. 99 is already there, so 2 hits. 98 is already there, so 3 hits. 97 is already there, so 4 hits. Okay, so till now from 104 we have 4 hits. 4 out of 104 hits. Now we need to load 96. So 96, then 96, then 95, then 94, and then 93, yeah, then 92, 91, 90 and 89, and this will go on up until we have 3, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and our sequence will get terminated, sequence of access. So we notice that out of 200, 4 are hits, 4 hits and 196 miss out of 200. So the number of miss is 196, or we can say the number of page faults will be 196. Okay, so correct answer for question number 18 is A. This is a really good question. It was also a previous year GATE question, so it is a good question. Please try to perfect these types of question. Okay. They are frequently asked. Okay, so we are given a Boolean expression E equal to A complement and B complement A plus B. We are given that A complement and A dash and B dash are complements of A and B respectively, and we need to figure out what will be the result of this expression. Okay, so just open the brackets. A complement A plus A complement B plus A B complement A plus B complement B. Okay, so A complement A and B complement key will get cancelled, so we are remaining with A complement B plus B complement A. Okay, so now this cannot be reduced further, so there is some mistake in the question. Maybe the expression is wrong, so okay, I will upload the correct question and give you the explanation. Okay, so leave this question as of now. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. A complement dot B complement this and A plus B. Okay, so when we expand it, we get A complement B complement A plus B complement B complement P, and A complement A will give 0 and b complement b will give 0. So 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0 equal to 0. So the correct answer for this question is B. So 19, option is B, that is 0. Okay, let's move on to the last question for this part. Okay, so can we apply the Master's theorem here? So yes, we can apply the Master's theorem. So which case does it fall in? So a equal to 2, b equal to 4, and k equal to 1. So a is less than b power k. So it is the third case. So here the time complexity is given by theta of n power k. So it is theta of n. So here the correct answer is C, theta of n. Actually it should be theta of n. Option number C should be theta of n. So option number C is the correct answer here. Okay, so in this question paper there are still 40 questions left. So we will be discussing all of those 40 questions. But I would request you to please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you for watching the video, and stay tuned for the next solutions. Thank you.